should I should say the AI and XR worlds. What acronyms we play with. I'm still reading the EU AI regulation, and so several things is it sets some elements of it. One is an element of unacceptable risk, and I can screen share their own announcement if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, please.
If I can. Let's
Yeah,
see here.
yeah, you can.
That they have an area of various risk levels. So unacceptable risk, the one that jumped out at me is that you can't use real-time and remote biometric identification systems, or it's considered a threat to people and will be banned, as well as social scoring of classifying people by personal characteristics and cognitive behavioral manipulation of people. So it's interesting because a lot of them probably that's a good direction to be going. And then otherwise, there's various areas that you'll have to be registered. So the implications of this and the timing of this is one of the news of the week. Another one is looking at Microsoft and OpenAI as antitrust, as that their the degree of control obviously exercised in the past weekish is not just investment but ownership. So that's come out recently. Um, I'm seeing a lot on the AI side also. Just got back from a week in Europe talking with various folks on media and education in the future, and lots of conversations about AI and schooling, about what's happening with ChatGPT taking over classrooms. Um, and then just minor stuff on my side. One is tinkering with Cast Magic, which I run a podcast, Creative Innovators, and Cast Magic is a tool that's out there that lets you essentially do transcripts and summaries and social media writing and all the other things that I know most people pay $300 an episode for people to do, into creating entire introductions. It's probably going to take 3-4 hours a week off of my burden, but I was actually kind of amazed how turnkey it is. And then a lot of people are rushing into Pika.art, which is still in a, you have to sign up to get into the beta on it. But I tried it a bit, and it takes both text to video as well as image to full motion video. So there's a lot of tools out there that to tinker with for adding to your own workflow. That's very interesting. And then a couple of VR things. One is that I guess that Meta software has gone to 60 and has added benefits for um, uh, room navigation, room identification, more sustainability there, so you don't have it bug out and you have to remark your room all the time. And some benefits to battery, which is a big problem. And then I also went when I was in Barcelona to Ideal, which is a really phenomenal location-based entertainment, VR and immersive experience that they're going to be going to other cities. But they were using HTC Vive and the newer Vive, and having 30 people going through a walkthrough of Tutankhamun's tomb. And it was easy access, beautiful high res, very high frames per second, very easy to engage with newbies, and a very intriguing element. And they're going to be changing out their exhibits and processes, I don't know, every 6 weeks, but they're going to be launching in several more major cities. And I was totally blown away, totally fangirled them there in Barcelona for their work. So I'm very excited about that. So that's my kind of grab bag of news and things of interest this week.
Cool. Yeah. So as for regulations, I think for biometrical kind of data cannot be inserted in, right, to the AI. The interesting thing is that today I will all go for AI. And Homa, do you have any news you want to share? Today we need to stop, and I have a lot just in case nobody share, but I would like everybody to share, and I will go that at the end. Yeah.
I'm just here to listen. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so let me share my crazy page. Okay, so today I will cover a bunch of the news and okay, so the first one I would like to share this one. This is very controversial, and I personally, when I saw it, I feel a little terrified. Maybe because I'm woman, and also this is not serving woman's best interest for this news. And I just want to be that a lot of women.
Oh yeah, no, this is a big thing.
Yeah, recently I listened to the Apple News yesterday, and I heard that a lot of young teenagers, they receive a lot of like a weird, anonymous kind of threaten or like a private message from social media and repost of their the clothes on pictures, right? Bikini or some clothes for teenagers on their social media. And then they resend their pictures with everything addressed nude. And those young teenagers were terrified because, hey, this is me, but you nudify me. And a lot of like anonymous people got this. I know there are a lot of very cool news, for example, like Google Gemini and all those like a cool news, like how AI is awesome. But I personally look at this, I was like, hey, this is not really helping the world to become a better place. This is making a lot of women feel terrified. And if you see their technology is very, very, I would say, I couldn't tell whether it is real or not. Later on, I will share with you, and I'm wondering why this site was not being taken down. And because this site, I believe people who pay for it, it's actually 9.99, like 9.99, just like a $10. You can, whoever woman with the clothes on, you can make them nude. And yeah,
This is reaching down into middle schools and high schools.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I personally think, hey, somebody doing something about it. And you see, like, you can do Google, Discord, Twitter, right? Undressed AI, and it's a woman. If you kind of kindly, I don't know whether my episode will get banned. I'm a woman, I'm not like promoting this side, but you see like those stuff. This is so bad. I mean, I just show a little bit and you know what I mean, right? So yeah, so if you see this app, a website use artificial intelligence to address women in photo are soaring in popularity according to researchers. I mean, my face is here and I wear jacket, right? Anybody, if somebody who has some intentions, they can do this without any regulations to address anybody, right? And why target a woman, right? And it's very obviously it's Emma Watson. Why doing this, right? Yeah, so this app is part of warring trend to non-consensual pornography being developed and distributed because like advance in artificial intelligence. And he also kind of said that, oh, there are a lot of women or celebrity, they use celebrity as a selling market. Hey, do you want to see this celebrity naked? I was like, hey, and the deep fake it looks so real. And I start worrying that you see like right now teenager girls got worried and got threatened through this app. I don't know, somebody needs to do something, right? And yeah, I don't know. I'm just throw out this like concern. And Gigi, do you have any thoughts? And when I see this, I personally think, hey, AI should do something good to our society, not doing something bad. So yeah, this is just my concern. Yeah, any thoughts?
Other than I saw articles on this a few weeks ago already, and part of it is that it's not just sharing it, but it's also threatening young women,
Yeah.
saying that creating blackmail situations. So part of it is that threatening peers has all sorts of consequences already. There's been all sorts of tools to be doing all sorts of things with folks, but this has gotten to be evidently abundant, and especially with parents not understanding what's going on in middle schools and high schools. And you already have had so much crap going on in middle schools and high schools with off-campus and on-campus resources with this stuff, but
Yeah, I don't know. Can someone do something about it? Or you see, like there are news and Apple News, a lot of news are concerning, and this site is still there, right? And they even charge, and it seems like tons of people are sharing. You see, like Telegram, Twitter, right? If you see
yeah.
Twitter, yeah, I mean, why doing this? Why doing this?
Because people talk about it and people buy it.
Yeah, and they even charge. I mean, is this even a legal thing? And it seems like, and it's all woman and beautiful young woman. Why doing this? I don't know. It's just my concern. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody needs to do something, even though you see like for the EU regulation, right? It just biometric data, right? But how about this one? Does anybody can do anything about it, or we just let this thing keep going? We cannot do anything? I don't know. I think somebody must do something, right? It's already kind of makes society panic. It's even worse than any social media you can imagine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, not that character AI is doing the same thing, but the fact that character AI is so popular right now of creating characters, that creating the other through AI versus your own voice and, having your own content coming out with it, but essentially creating characters to talk to, is, yet another dimension now of objectifying other people. And yeah, sadly, I think that's gotten to be a very large part of some of the tool set use.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, imagine you stand there, joining a seminar, and somebody put this and look at you as an object. It doesn't feel right.
Well, it's
I don't
also
know.
body shaming to the ideal as well, right? So it's not making these people look like they actually look. It's putting a stereotypical body on them. And a
Mhm.
lot of and I'm trying to remember what so NPR had a researcher on who was showing where a lot of the photos were coming from that were being sourced into a lot of these platforms. And for a lot of them, they were coming from porn to begin with. So we're having this sort of both objectification and very odd body shaming and kind of the ideal physical figure coming from these stereotypical porn-based images that are also feeding into this stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think for EU, they probably need to guide, like, for example, you couldn't, do this, or, if you are a business, like doing something that harm like a young woman, you need to take him down. Like I
Can you
personally,
stop showing Emma
yeah,
Watson over and over again? Stop
yeah,
showing.
yeah. I just feel
She's
like,
been dealing with this with media for a long time personally. She's had a lot of this crap. Even
yeah, right.
earlier AI, she's become objectified extensively.
Yeah, so I just think this needs to be taken down, and shouldn't even, being legal and even charging. It just make people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, okay. Let's not really looking at the side. Okay, the other thing, yeah, just like Gigi, you mentioned that kind of like a Genomine, right? Genomine, I saw this thing, and I can share with you the not this one, Genomine. Let me see, where is Genomine? If you see the Google original, kind of like isn't the generative AI model we expect. So I know that this is kind of a big stuff that being 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 featured, but I personally think it's kind of fine. They just combine with the text, video, audio, and image together, and kind of have some recognition. For example, like, oh, the normal one, it just can detect, oh, this is something, but the new one, it can kind of combine and bring up like a new things. So this is more linear, and this is more interactive. It's more like a 4 different things mingled together. Yeah, and they even add like some input audios. For example, you can use audios to create something and doing some interactions. Yeah, for example, like you can do like a prompt and it will tell you more about it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of trying to do something new and putting forward together. And so far, mm, I'm not really impressed by it. And also, a lot of like experts or technologists, when they see it, they just like, oh, they personally think that Google launched it because Meta launched something, Microsoft launched something, um, other tech company launched something, so they need to launch something. So it's fine, but not really impressive. Yeah, if you see this, but I mean, I'm open if you have any thoughts. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, go ahead. Feel free to unmute yourself. There,
To me,
yeah.
I was gonna say, to me, I haven't tinkered in it much yet or looked at it much yet, other than seeing the news and
Hmm.
wondering if it is catch up, but watching a lot of YouTube videos on people saying that it is better because of some of the ways that it works. But
Yeah, that's just a revisit. I watched this and I feel it's, I don't know, because ChatGPT and all other inventions, they kind of solve some certain problems. And for this, I can see some, text transfer or audio transfer, which is stable diffusion or stability.ai already kind of jump in and do something like this. So I don't know. I feel like it's something that they are launching, but the application, I feel it's okay. Yeah.
One of the reasons we got interested in AI from the very beginning is that we always viewed our mission as a timeless mission. It's to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. But as information has grown in scale and complexity, the problem has gotten harder. So we always knew we needed to have a deeper breakthrough to make progress.
I've worked on AI my whole life because I've always felt it would be the most beneficial and consequential technology for humanity. Human beings in our society would have 5 senses, and the world we built and the media we consume is in those different modalities. So I'm super proud and excited to announce the launch of the Gemini Era, a first step towards a truly universal AI model.
The Gemini approach to multimodality is all the kinds of things you want an artificial intelligence system to be able to do. And these are capabilities that haven't really existed in computers before.
Traditionally, multimodal models are created by stitching together text-only, vision-only, and audio-only models in a suboptimal way at a secondary stage. Gemini is the multimodal from the ground up, so it can seamlessly have a conversation across modalities and give you the best possible response.
Gemini is our largest and most capable model. It means that Gemini can understand the world around us in the way that we do and absorb any type of input and output. So not just text like most models, but also code, audio, image, and video. What's amazing about Gemini is that it's so good at so many things. As we started getting to the end of the training, we started seeing that Gemini was better than any other model out there on these very, very important benchmarks. For example, each of the 50 different subject areas that we tested on, it's as good as the best expert humans in those areas.
It's very rare that you can work on a technology at a foundational level and it simultaneously can impact all our products.
We created a family of models that can run on everything from mobile devices to data centers, each of which is actually best in class.
Gemini will be available in 3 sizes. Gemini Ultra, our most capable and largest model for highly complex tasks. Gemini Pro, our best performing model for a broad range of tasks. And Gemini Nano, our most efficient model for on-device tasks.
We want to provide the best foundational building blocks, and then we know developers and enterprise customers are going to figure out really creative ways to further refine our Gemini foundational models, and the potential's almost limitless.
So at Google, there's this healthy disregard for the impossible, and that has oriented us to be both bold and responsible together. As these systems become more capable, all of those capabilities also raise new questions.
We have to think about what it means to have an image be a part of, for example, the input. Because an image might be innocuous on its own, or text might be innocuous on its own, but the combination could be offensive or hurtful.
Safety and responsibility has to be built in from the beginning. And at Google DeepMind, that's what we've done with Gemini.
We develop proactive policies and adapt those to the unique considerations of multimodal capabilities. We then do rigorous testing against those policies to prevent the harms that we've identified with approaches like classifiers and filters.
If I were to look at the foundational breakthroughs in AI over the past decade, Google has been at the forefront of many of those breakthroughs. And I think Gemini continues that rich tradition.
It's been an enormous sort of monumental engineering task, which has been, very challenging, but also very exciting.
I have been at Google for quite a while, and the reason I'm here is really I believe in the company's mission, and I think Gemini is a great step in that overall mission.
We end up with a world that has more knowledge and that people have more access to information that otherwise would not be available to them.
That's what excites me, the chance to make AI helpful for everyone, everywhere in the world.
It's amazing how you can have a video like that that is very warm and heartfelt and has almost no information to it. I was actually really...
Yes. So that's why I was like, well, what are you trying to say?
Well, I saw it earlier and I'm thinking, this is really a nice Google marketing video telling their story with, other than showing that the product comes in 3 sizes, there's almost nothing else to it. So, and I don't know if this is an anticipation of what was coming down the pike with the EU or not, to be able to show, hi, we're good actors, we're good people, we love it here. It's all in brown tones and
but you see like the new
lighting.
New define. Google allows, and also they charge Google for like Google will put display ads inside there, and Google will pay them. You know, sometimes you have a really good blog or anything, and Google can displace ads. And yeah, I don't know. It's just for me.
Google puts ads in amazing things that really are not socially beneficial, but that's a whole nother, that could be another hour conversation.
Yes. I feel like, hey, are you guys use AI to generate the most of the video? It feels like a really nice, fluffy, and I have no idea what you are trying to show me. It's like not get to the point, but say something, a lot of things nice. It's just me. So I don't know. It's like, you can do video, audio, something, right? Show me like the real practical usage though. Yeah, like maybe this one, let's say.
A common problem scientists face is the need to find and use data extracted from the scientific literature. This is difficult because scientists need to search among thousands of scientific papers for key information and extract them by hand. It's a very common workflow and very time-consuming. In fact, some of our scientists at Google DeepMind face this very problem. They use Gemini to help with it because Gemini has an incredible understanding of science. Taylor will explain more.
So we were looking at this study from 2022. The authors had created a data set by reviewing tens of thousands of scientific papers in genetics. They found a few hundred papers that contained the relevant information, extracted it by hand, and collected it in a table. Studies like this can take a lot of time. We needed to update this data set with what's new over the last couple of years. But that's over 200,000 new open access papers added to this domain since 2021. We couldn't do this manually, so we asked Gemini to help us out. First, we needed to filter for relevant scientific papers. We wrote a prompt, just like this one, telling Gemini exactly what to look for. With its advanced reasoning capabilities, Gemini was able to distinguish between papers that were relevant to the study and those that weren't. For the relevant papers, we wrote a similar prompt, asking Gemini to read the paper and extract the key data for us. We could even ask Gemini to add annotations. This showed us exactly where in the paper Gemini found the information. We ran this at scale. And over a lunch break, Gemini read 200,000 papers for us, filtered it down to 250, and extracted their data. So now we have a refreshed version of this data set. But because Gemini is multimodal, not only can it reason about information from text, it can also reason about figures. So let me show you something really neat. With our refreshed data set, we can now ask Gemini to update a graph from the original study. We first gave Gemini a screenshot of this figure. Then we asked it to generate the code required to plot it. And by feeding this code our new data set, we get our updated figure. You can see that this figure now includes data up until 2023.
So Taylor used Gemini to search a large corpus of literature for relevant papers and extract key information from these papers, as well as update figures. Of course, these capabilities can help more than just biologists or even scientists. They extend naturally to any domain that is reliant on large data sets, such as law or finance. So that's what Gemini can make possible, and we are excited to see what you will create with Gemini.
Yeah, I mean, kind of helping out, making better charts, right? And understand this.
As a parent, you may have to help your kid with their homework. I've certainly had to. Here's where Gemini can help. For this demo, we've created a simple interface, and with some clever prompting under the hood, we can really leverage Gemini's math, reasoning, and multimodal capabilities to learn a subject like physics. With Gemini, you can upload a photo of handwritten answers on a worksheet. Not only can Gemini solve these problems, but this is the amazing part. It can read the answers and understand what was right and what was wrong, and explain the concepts that need more clarification. So Gemini identified some mistakes with problems 1 and 3 here. Let's take a look at 3. Here, Gemini identifies that the formula was correct, but there was a mistake in calculating height. We can ask Gemini to explain in more details why the height is 50 meters instead of 6. I can ask Gemini to explain further. Here, Gemini explains the step-by-step details to solving the problem. Because of Gemini's ability to understand nuanced information and answer questions relating to complicated topics, it can give you a customized explanation of the subject you're trying to learn. And lastly, if you want to learn more, you can just ask. Gemini will provide personalized practice problems based on mistakes. Here I have a similar problem where I have to figure out the cat's speed, where the height of the ramp is double. Oh yeah, I knew that.
But it's kind of like having a study buddy who you can't trust 100%, that you don't know what's right and what's wrong from the data. This stuff makes grading a nightmare for faculty, or could be really great for, okay, I can run this on my students' assignments, but I still have to know what the heck I'm talking about. And that's not, this is implying that this is truth. And both of these videos just now, we're implying this is truth. And not, right now, the need for AI literacy is so tremendous. And I don't think these videos help much in the fact that it's coming to the next predicted item, but there is no validation that these are truthful things. I mean, as someone who taught for 22 years at a major university, I would have students get together and come together with the wrong answer. Here you could be, having the wrong answer given to you, and then, ChatGPT ate my homework. I don't know. It's an interesting question. Can I share something real quick? And I know that we're tight on time.
Yeah, we just have to make sure the time is okay. Probably about like a 9:45, 50, we have to slow down and close it, and for the next event. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to just share this article, which I read in a trade publication as well, that it got syndicated by Andrew Marzal, taking a look at the recently announced Sundance Film Festival projects that were picked out of, I think, 70,000 applicants, something outrageous. And that a decent number of the ones that were picked are either about AI storytelling, AI creating content, which is kind of ironic as we just finished a Screen Actors Guild and Writers Guild strikes that were trying to parse a lot of this stuff out. So good article to take a look at on Barron's and MSN and all over the place. about how AI has turned up in the Sundance Film Festival lineup. Yeah, interesting times as to what is content, what is truth, what's being rewarded and celebrated, and what metaphors are people buying off on as to what is appropriate and good use of AI. So.
Cool. Yeah. So I do think that what your concern is right. And today our speaker Curtis, he also create his own like a framework of AI. He create a little chatbot under ChatGPT, right? So if you go to his LinkedIn page, I mean, you will meet him in person, virtually in person later. So it's very interesting that you can pretty much later on, I'm writing a book, or you have a podcast, right? Or something that you create your own content, and later on you can feed on the chatbot, and that chatbot can answer the questions. I don't want to say on behalf of you, but since you feed the knowledge exclusive only your own knowledge. So maybe a teacher teaching over 32 years, let's say, and he or she feed the chatbot using all the materials or kind of organize it and feed it. Maybe that chatbot can kind of somehow have some spirit or something related to that teacher. So yeah, so and when I try Curtis Chat GPT for that immersive design kind of framework, it's interesting. They have like a exclamation mark, like Curtis Hickman cannot see your chat or any answers. So it's kind of like, oh, I use the chatbot you create, and I feel like, oh, it's kind of weird that you know what I'm typing. So it also has a disclaimer that, hey, we couldn't, I couldn't see your answer or the generation of your answer. So people feel a little bit secure. Oh, okay, go ahead.
And I just want to show, I don't know if it's pronounced site or not, but this has been around for a bit as an AI-based tool where I can be gathering other research that is about what I'm up to. And I'm a little disturbed by the Google example in the fact that they're essentially data scraping other people's IP and pulling that out. You're commenting that they were just making a nice graph. They actually were saying that they were actually scraping out of other people's published research. Site at least lets you capture it so you can do that research. It's not that that's not a covered territory already, but there's a lot of new tools that are essentially data scraping content out of other people's work and then turning it into their own. And I'm assuming that they're going to validate and go back and make sure that that's good data collected with a good end and good processes. But to just data scrape from other people's stuff is getting to be a very popular use of a lot of these tools.
Yeah, that raised the concern that do we really need IP, right? Because right now, if AI is like a Wild West, like everybody is trying to claim like or like get all the data, and there's no. Yeah, I don't know. It just strikes me like what can we get protected, or we just scrap other people's work. I mean, it's great that when you need it, but it feels bad when you are creating it and being used. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it's great that I generate a texture or 3D model without paying or without doing anything, like 3 seconds. But it feels bad that, for example, later on I publish the book or anything, and anybody just take
Amazon's limiting people to 3 books a day to publish.
3 books. Oh wow,
a day.
Wow, now publishing book is just like so easy. Yeah,
fast food.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm doing like I invite like right now 36 people, XR experts, including Gigi. Yeah. For interviews. So I was thinking about, because right now you see GPT is so convenient, and I kind of feel like, why should I write a book that is very similar, that's so generic online, right? So that's why I think asking for more personal experience and more like authentic But I know after I published this book, all this data will, I would say, probably leak pretty soon. So yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, we just keep doing what we think is right. And if something being leaked and manipulated, then it seems like we need to change the way that we think. Maybe because it's inevitable though. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's no IP anymore. Oh, go ahead.
Or it's personal experience, right?
Yeah,
That
I
it's a
think
personal relationship, personal community experience.
yeah, I think more personal because right now, whatever you share online, because if you don't share, nobody knows you know, right? But if you share, it becomes the data that feeds to whatever chatbot it is. And if you think about that, if I put my book or anything to the ChatGPT and make a bot, and the data immediately leak, right? Because it's OpenAI and they are training using maybe, because right now, Zoom right now is using all our conversations, no matter you say yes or not, or they make everything so hard for you to not using your data. Yeah, the interface is really hard. So yeah,
Whereby out of Norway, great product, doesn't do that. Peer-to-peer video. Sorry. I'll stop promoting things. And I know you need to wrap up the conversation. Anything you want to do as we close down today?
Yeah, I think it's just the legislation is very slow, probably until the harm made for very significant harm made and a significant lose or significant problem, then all the lawyer they just not doing anything and sit in the Congress and get payment. Yeah. So that's my thought there. What are they doing? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And we will prepare for the next round and make sure you join it because I think the next one is very interesting. He wrote a book and he's the co-founder of The Void. And yeah, I joined, I've been to The Void and I love the entire concept. So make sure you get in. Okay, bye-bye.